So
Coming up
yeah,
next
Celine
on the
Alexandria
podcast.
is kind of like my brand outside of like my MPH, MS, on the road to MD life. Like I started my professional. And so yeah, I say we, but yeah, travel fitness lifestyle. And I've been doing it like almost like fully like gun-ho for like 2 years now almost. How does this make you feel empowered? Or when I go to the gym and I got on this little tight little outfit, and I don't like to show them I got bigger thighs, but if I go in the gym and I'm really looking good and I know that I'm healthy from the inside out, is that more empowering? Yes, I got on skin tight clothes, you can see my body and all that, but I'm not quote unquote naked, you know, but you feel empowered because I'm feeling like I'm gonna see the best version of myself. Domestic violence hotline numbers and stuff like that. I think those are ineffective old ways to really talk about this situation. Yes, those numbers are available, but let's be real. You finna call that number? No. So I always throw that out to say that I think that a lot of people just say, just leave, or that's cute. That sound good. Just like the everything else I just said sound good. But is that really gonna happen? Like you really have to make a true decision in your mind, what's in your best interest, and if you're able to leave. Some women really can't leave because we let y'all leave so much. Y'all done had us incapable. We can't even leave. Like we
Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man. Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man.
What's good? It's Sir Gates. So you are now tuned into the Inherited Podcast. Welcome back to the episode. Again, if y'all are watching, download and subscribing, I highly appreciate y'all. Keep doing that and keep tuning in. So today we have another special guest, right? Miss Celine Alexandria. She already turned up. I love it. So we're gonna get into it, okay? But she is a women's health advocate and a content creator, right? So we got a lot of stuff to unpack. It's gonna be a real good combo. We're gonna get right into it. So how you been doing today? You doing all right?
Yeah, I had a late night last night, so I'm a little raspy. But yeah, I've been good. I'm a little weary. I tell people right now I'm a little weary because I just gotta charge back up from all my traveling. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm always turned up kind of most of the time. It's most like high on life type vibe.
Yeah. It's good to be high on life sometimes. We're high on life and other stuff. You know
people
what I'm
like,
saying?
you always so goofy. I'm like, goofy not the word. But yeah, I feel what you say.
Living life. That's all good. Yeah. So look, before we get started, right? Quick little icebreaker. So
okay, what you got?
I'm going to pull a card, and I promise you, I don't know what it's going to say, but I'm going to pull it. We both
you was over
answer
there peeking.
I just want to see what's left in the deck. I shuffle.
Okay.
Here we go. Let me get a little extra into it. So we both going to answer it. You'll answer first, and we're going to go from there. So let's see what this card going to say this time. All right. Wow. This is going to be good for you. Brag to me about the best things going on in the past 30 days.
Oh, man, that is not going to be good. I'm very humble. Like, I do not like bragging about nothing.
But it's positive stuff, so what you got?
What to brag with you from the past 30 days?
Yeah. So brag to me about the best things going on in the past 30 days. So it was good stuff.
Dang. This has been a trying last month for me. I guess the fact that I got a merit increase at my job.
Okay, that's good.
But other than that, it's more so like it's sowing seed time. I don't have like too many brags. Like, yeah, I don't. Let me think real quick. Let me think.
So while you think, I'm
you
gonna see what I got. But for me, the last 30 days, it would just be being able to do this podcast, right? Because it's been a long time coming to get back to it. So to be able to get back doing it consistently and being able to drop every week consistent and having guests come and show up, that's just been the best things happening for me. Of course, outside of that, waking up every day, enjoying life, can't complain about too much. But other than that, that's been a blessing for me. So that's I guess it is hard to brag. So I'm not bragging.
It is. Like, I don't be sitting around like, I got,
maybe we should pull another card.
Somebody else could be like, you do. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Okay, so thank you. It sparked some stuff. So, okay, Okay, so boom, yeah. I went to Inbound, which is a kind of marketing, sales, CRM, like customer relation management type conference. But for me, it was marketing, content creation type vibes for me. And I was able to go for free through Career Chasers. And I'm an ambassador for Career Chasers, which is like a membership for minority women to be able to negotiate, pitch, manage their managers, all the professional development type things that you might not get at work. Because I work from home and I'm a consultant, so I don't get a lot of that.
Yeah.
So we was able to go for free. We got tickets. I was able to get a room from Marriott, fully paid for, and also for shout out to Delta too, because I got like a ticket.
Delta.
Well, actually, not shouts out to them. They got some stuff that's changing as a loyal person to them. Some people are not happy, but that's kind of like in the travel space. But yeah, and then my ticket was like $100. So I was able to meet some great people up there. I was able to go on like a traditional sailboat. Got to meet some awesome women in the marketing space. And one, she's actually a soror, and she actually lived here in Atlanta. So I can't wait to kind of like vibe with her. And I got to hear Beyonce publicist speak. I'm not a beehive or none of that.
I was just about to ask, are you a part of the hive?
We ain't doing none of that. But I did go see Beyonce this year, so I feel like I know her a little bit better as a spirit. But yeah, we got to hear from Beyonce's publicist. So she just talked through the journey of how she was, marketing and had to push Destiny Child, and then how she had to do it for Beyonce. And that's not a hard, that's not an easy feat. We would have thought it would be easy, but she said that Beyonce got turned down from like 20 magazines before she got her on a cover of one. And you wouldn't think that.
Not at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would be hard for her, but it was.
Sheesh.
So yeah, that was super cool. Like that was super cool. And also Huberman, Andrew Huberman, I believe his first name is. He's someone who's really dope in the space of like feeling your energy, expanding your neuroplasticity, all these kind of abstract concepts that we really don't talk about like in the Black community. So it was cool, but I love the fact that Beyonce's publicist was like she was a Caribbean lady, and she was just sharing our story on the main stage. And I really enjoyed that. Like, whoever didn't know the backstory of how Beyonce is not Beyonce, she's part of Destiny's Child first, they needed to hear that. So I was like, you better just share our story. Yeah. So I was like, shout out to you, because she was like doing her own kind of like accent too. And there was a thing called Black Inbound too. So I kind of felt really good to connect with some people in the marketing space about Black Inbound. So dope conference. They didn't pay me to go, but I did go for free. But yeah, it was dope. So,
that's good. That's a good brand though. Yes, a lot of insight, a lot of value you got from that conference though.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now since you said that, that's a good segue to in the marketing and content creation realm, right? So that is something that you do. So can you just expound more upon that part of your life as far as the content creator and just the specialist in that realm? Yeah,
so it's all pretty much new for me. I'm not super, big. I don't have 200,000 followers or anything like that. But I will say on the back end of that, it's not that I'm really gunning for that, because I was able to monetize pretty quickly. So I start getting some big names, or if I didn't get paid, some actual higher notoriety, notable brands would send me free things so I could just practice. I called it practicing when I was doing that, getting free stuff. So yeah, Celine Alexandria is kind of like my brand outside of like my MPH, MS, on the road to MD life. Like I started my professional. And so yeah, travel, fitness, lifestyle. And I've been doing it like almost like fully like gung-ho for like 2 years now almost. But before that, I was playing, because I'm too cool for school with a lot of stuff. So I don't like to follow the wave. Like, I thought it was lame, to be real. Like, I thought it was lame. I'm like, ain't nobody finna be walking around with no camera. Like,
that's something to get used to, though.
Yeah, it just look corny.
Everybody looking at you,
Yeah, it looked corny. I really felt that. I was like, this looks corny. And then, like, at the time, I felt like Kim Kardashian and them type of people was the, like, influencers. Yeah. Like, I'm influencer. Like, I was like, this is lame. Like, the stuff y'all be doing, like, setting up, going in fake jets and stuff, taking pictures. I'm not for none of that. Like, I'm not here to set up no lifestyle to, like, prove to nobody else that I got X, Y, and Z going on. So, it was more so like my friends like, you got to do this. You be doing everything people be fake doing. You be doing like, you be out here traveling, doing this. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I'll post a picture and go ghost. You know, I was that type, like, keep it real mysterious, like, pop up in a different country. So my friends was the ones who really got me into it. And they were just like, you got to do this. You can make money. This is a second business opportunity.
That's a fact, man.
So I was like, I'll try. So I just kept getting more consistent and taking more, just putting more into like how I present to the world. Like make sure like you got to make sure your hair, your makeup, your outfit. Well, for me, I don't know. Some people be like, nah, you don't. And then some people don't even got to be shown in their videos. And I be like, y'all got all these followers. Y'all making all this money and just show y'all fingers or put the finger in the food.
Yeah.
Y'all do not like my stuff if I'm not in it. Let me tell y'all that. I can't get nobody no aesthetic content that's just pretty scenery. No, baby. They want to be like, hey, where you at? If I'm not in it, it don't move.
So you seen that content for you gets more interactions than just other just showing stuff going around?
No, they don't play that. I had to everybody asked me, who take your pictures and stuff? But it's my tripod. That's my best friend. If I'm somewhere like traveling with a guy, they're not having it. Most of the time, they be like, I'm not doing this. And my mama do it
taking
too.
your photos?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
Dudes don't like taking your photos for you. They be like, I ain't gonna be doing this. Like, here 10 photos, and they be like, all right, I'm done. You gotta keep
Yeah, you know, a female, they want the angles. They gotta at least have 5 different options of each shot they gotta go through. You gotta,
though, but dudes be like, all right. I'm like, nah, no. Set that back up, set that back up. Let's some more. People know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and then my mom did the same thing. She's like, I didn't come to work. I knew this was gonna happen without you. Like, you already know.
Right, you already know what's going on. So you gotta go in there with a mindset that we gotta get this content and let it keep this
tripods.
thing
I got short tripods, big tripods. I got clip-on cameras. So now I can go like when I'm doing excursions and stuff, I can put it on me. So I ain't gotta worry about I've had so many missed opportunities. Like, dang, I didn't bring my tripod. But I've got a case on my phone, stand up. You'd be surprised.
We went through that today. I said the same, like, damn, I didn't bring your stabilizer. But it takes a lot to put in creative content. But for you, what do you think was that first piece of content that made you say, like, all right, I put this piece out, it did fairly well or really well, and you were like, okay, even though you did say your friends kind of push you to take it serious, but what was that first thing where you like, okay, damn, this kind of doing some numbers. Let me go ahead and just keep going with it. You remember what it was?
Nope. I know it had something with me in it. I don't remember. But I do remember the first time I got like over like 10K or something. It was like my homegirl. She has like 100,000 followers as a fitness creator. And I was like, whoa, like they really liked us.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the first one. But knowing... I haven't looked at my audience in a while, but back when I first started, my audience was 75% men. So it definitely was something with me in it or swimsuit or something like that. Unfortunately, but fortunately, that's the content.
Now, say the pros and cons to it. Yeah,
that's the content that does the best for me. I could be dancing in my swimsuit. I get a whole bunch of
That's society. That's going to go for sure.
It's an art for me. And so when I put in like real work and I be like, dang, y'all wasn't messing with that. Y'all wasn't messing with that. And then I do something like, this is some BTS. And I'm like, I don't have nothing to post today. Let me just post the BTS. I'd be like, hey, so yeah.
You think it gets you sometimes when you do see some content doing good?
Yeah.
And then some doing bad, they push you in like a little mood?
It puts me in a mood when I see other people who probably have like, I won't say trash content, but I'll say like...
No, sometimes people have trash content.
I keep it real and be like, it's like, I'm like, okay, like, but you know, you always start looking at somebody else's plate. So I had to like regroup, like, you can't be worried about what they doing. Like, what's for you is for you. And I just have to keep the train moving. So yeah, it does get discouraging, especially when you put a lot into something. But then you had them wins where like a brand will hit you up like, oh my God, we love that. All these people hit us up afterwards. So it's like, it's, you know, it comes, everything gonna come with a pro and a con. But them the moments that I live for, like when somebody hit me up, literally a brand told me like, she was like, I was having a really bad day. Something with the business wasn't going right. And then, like, you just sent your content. Like, you about to make me cry. Like, my day is so good. Like, oh, my God, you did so good. I know I had to wait a little minute for it, which is one thing I got to get better with.
Your turnaround time.
Yeah, because I have a full-time job. So it's like, and I travel a lot. So it's hard to be sitting somewhere for the same amount of time like you sitting at home doing content out and about. But yeah, I could say that. But yeah, she was just like, oh my God, you about to make me cry. Like, I was like, oh Lord.
But that means you doing good work for them people then.
So shout out to Aesthetic Collection, because she was very sweet. Those kind of things like I live.
So you prefer like UGC content, just the original content, or you prefer like as far as you say going in and I know I'm gonna do this, and that. Let me get not a camera crew, but just a bigger setup than versus taking my phone, turning it around, and just making some good UGC content. Which do you prefer?
I don't like UGC content just because I put a lot into it, and so you're not gonna just go behind the scenes and use this everywhere. I want to post this too. Yeah. Like I be putting a lot in, so no. I mean that's cool, but to think if y'all went and did this big production for Mercedes-Benz for the tailgate today, and then you turn around and be like, okay, thank you, and then take care, and it's like you can't put it up. Like nah, y'all finna see this. Like you want your people to see it. Yeah. So that's how I felt. Like, oh, you ain't about to be sampling me. Like,
that's a fact.
Nah, I want this on my thing too.
So what do you think is the sauce or the ingredients to make a good piece of viral content, or what goes into just creating good content from your formula and what you know, like as far as whether you've done research or whatnot? So what goes into a good piece of content that's going to, or at least have a chance to go?
So I talk about this with Vaughn from the Set the Record Straight podcast. So when I hear that word, it make me cringe a little bit. Right. The viral word. Because like I feel like everybody's doing stuff. So like to me, the virility of content is or should be organic. Number one. And number two, that was for the Vine. Like that people was doing stuff for the Vine. Facts. Like back in the day, like it's just not the same. Like how DC Young Fly got his start. He used to do stupid stuff in the supermarkets and stuff. And I remember that because he was cool with somebody I was cool with, and his friends was showing me. I'm like, who is this dude? And they was like, oh, this is my homeboy. He's so crazy, but ain't he funny? And that was like that straight ignorant Martin Lawrence type doing this for the Vine crazy state stuff. Now I just feel like it really needs to be organic because I was actually talking to somebody, one of my friends who a lot of disc jockey, VJing and all that. People want to see you. Like they don't like the whole like phoniness. And I feel like people really gravitate towards people that are just real. And most of the time now, you can tell when people are doing it and not being like authentic. Or it's something like, if it's a skit, then okay, yeah, it's a skit. Cause I know LaTruth, he had us doing a skit one time. And it was funny though, but of course it wasn't real. Cause he always say he looked like Tupac and it's like, dude, you don't look like Tupac. But it's funny though. And LaTruth has a lot of followers, so people like that from him. But I don't like the viral word because I feel like if it's good content, it's quality, it's going to mesh with somebody. But it is certain stuff for the sauce that, it's not more stuff about the posting time and stuff now because I feel like people on the internet all day long, but you got to know your audience for your followers. Right. But when it comes to reels, that's honestly not for it. Most of the time, people outside of your followers are going to see that. So like that's a different time than the time that your followers are for when you post a picture. So I do say I go to YouTube University all the time.
Fact. You got doctors from there.
Okay, but conferences like Inbound help with that kind of stuff too, where you're actually getting those like actually industry professionals when I'm all self-taught. So you have to be literally like 18, 19, 20, or maybe just right out of college right now to really have gone to school for social media or, because then it's hard. Like, who gonna say they're going to school for that? And you got a whole degree from that. I went to Spelman. I'm not paying $40,000 a year for something that's going to expire in 6 months. Because even like Jade and some of those awesome people that I follow on YouTube for a lot of my insight and ideas and things, I'd be like, I gotta take this off my watch later because it's old now. Like after 2 months, it's like it's the guy who's over Instagram. He changes stuff all the time. So I really think authenticity and really knowing, like I stopped kind of trying to please others, like as far as like, okay, what do my followers want to see? And just took it back into my seat. Because at first I was kind of with that and I was like, this ain't really feeling true to me. And if it got to feel good to me because I do this outside of, my real job, I'm not finna be doing stuff like, I understand, man, y'all like seeing ladies in the booties and the this and the that, but I don't want to do that all the time. Like, I might do that and put on a cute outfit, but I know that's what people want to see. But I'm not going to give y'all what y'all want to see all the time. Because I got to do this. I got to put my money into it. Facts. And I get to file taxes on the back end, and I might not be getting some of this money back till April of next year. So I'm gonna do what I want to do, especially if I'm not getting paid. And if I am, I still like, sometimes they be like, no, Celine, you can't. I'm like, no, I want to remain in the creative seat. Like, I'm not gonna do this and that, or, you know, I'll budge with the music a little bit because I'm Black. So, I mean, if I got a cuss word here or there, I mean, that's my audience. Like, my audience don't have no problem with, I mean, they don't want to hear like, you know, sexy red, you know, this pink, this blue, this red. We're not getting that, you know, like explicit, because I'm not that explicit. But yeah, like if somebody cussing, like, you know, I had to, you know, balance that. But yeah. So I think it's a good mixture of all of that. But I say definitely when you listen to what kind of some of those industry experts, what they do is go out and look at the experts level stuff and then take your little bit of your own self and like put that in it.
Facts.
But if you're going viral, you gotta look at a lot of other people's content to see what's viral.
And I just seen that, I can't remember the young lady's name, but she was pretty much saying she was doing a challenge to where to be able to post at least once a day for the next 3 months, right? So her whole scheme was just...
It take a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Unless you got it all batched up.
And see, that's what I like to do with mine. When I started recording the pod, because I made sure before I started, I learned my lesson. My first pod, I was doing it to where I shoot, edit, and drop that week, but just that's all I had. But this go around before I even launched, I had like 6 episodes already edited up in a can, ready to go.
Think about if Netflix didn't do that right now.
This shit be up shit. It brings upon so much pressure to let me keep up, let me be consistent and this and that. So, but for what the girl had said was, it's just best if you want to just create like content online as far as for your reels and stuff like that. Just instead of just being on IG scrolling, just look at what's going. Oh, well, you hate that word. What's going? You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, like literally, it tells you like what's trending, and it'll push
so take that, save it, and go back and just review it. Like what elements was in this post that made this clip get X amount of views, and then what you would want to do is let me just take out their brand, insert my brand, and let it match my audience, and then go from there. And now I got a whole list of content that's working, but you just gotta insert your brand and your audience value into that content, and therefore it's pretty much unlimited content. Like either doing that or that like batch recording. I come in here sometimes, shoot, in a full day, bringing 3 different shirts and just sit down. Cause you
I do that too.
Man,
I do that on trips. Like I'll literally, like the last day of the trip, I'll put on all my outfits and do whatever I need to do.
It saves so much time. Just imagine in one day, if you already know for a fact, you're about to post a clip that's only going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds long anyways because of how long the reels can be.
That's a long time.
It is. People may hear it being short, but even when I'm editing, try to put that much into that short amount of time. Well, as he still said, it's so much. But batch recording at one time, you can get at least 20 pieces of content in one.
You gotta be creative though too, because people don't be creative.
Right.
Like, I don't know what. I'll be like, you got to get outside of this.
But that's where the planning can come in at in the beginning. Like sometimes you can, I freeball sometimes just I know for a fact. Sometimes it's more organic if I just go into it versus when I sit down and plan. My mind be going so much, it just kind of takes away of the creativity and the organicness from the content.
Yeah, it's a good push and pull because people can tell when your content is super planned because it's like you sound like you reading from a script or something. So
professional,
it's way too. You know, they don't like that. That's why people have gravitated towards TikTok because everybody feel like they got to be so perfect on Instagram, like videographer, cinematic type level. But then on TikTok, chat people be in their bonnet. Camera ain't even cleaned off.
Straight up Jill.
Going.
Hello. Which one you prefer, TikTok or Instagram right now?
I'm not a TikTok girl.
See,
honestly,
I'm still trying to get a hold of TikTok.
I don't have the time. When it blew and I missed my little boat, people told me, but it was literally right after COVID had ended. Facts. And I just ain't had the time. I'm like, I don't have the time. And I'm in the process of applying for medical school. So I think in that time too, I was studying and things. So I honestly didn't have the time. I don't have the time to sit and everybody's like, well, just put the same content. And that just seems so fraudulent to me too. But I mean, I guess you could, but
I mean, it works. I do it, but it's just now with TikTok, they're taking more long form content. It's just another step you got to do as far as put my long form there, but also edit it to go on YouTube Shorts and then Instagram Reels.
And then YouTube, you can have it that way. And I tell people, you can't just switch that around and have it short, like that on YouTube. I'm like, you got to reconfigure it if it's not a short.
That 1920 by 1080, you got to do it right.
It's a little different. And people take stuff off of TikTok sometimes and have watermarks on it. So it's like,
but Instagram don't like that. I read an article.
It's a lot they don't like.
Yeah, if you got that TikTok watermark on it, they will suppress your content. That shit. It's just that whole algorithm thing, man. It's like, it's for you, but it's against you, because when you try to please it, that kind of makes you take away. Yeah. Some of your organic stuff kind of have to leave, because it's like, okay, Instagram say the best time to post is this time between this time, but knowing for a fact when you go on your insights, most of your followers are only on between the height of them 7 to 8 p.m. This and that. But then the mindset of, okay, people waking up, going to work at 7 a.m. So let me post that.
Places, times when people are eating, they say, but you got, that's why I said, like, if it's a picture versus a reel or whatever, or going live, like, you got to think of what's the audience that is targeted towards. Like, pictures are more towards your followers versus reels, which are more broad. So then it's like, okay, Instagram is telling, like, broadly who's on the internet, not your followers or mine. Like, I think about it too, because I used to live in Chicago, and then I'm everywhere all the time. So it's like, I think about, like, okay, we got East Coast people, we got West Coast people. So it's like, I can't always post at 8 in the morning. Georgia people are up, or, like, people back in Detroit. But
it's knocked out.
so it's like, I got to think of that too. So yeah, but I always put it in 3 categories, which I learned from the girlies from YouTube: entertain, educate, or inform.
So expound upon that. Like, let's break that down a little bit more.
So entertaining, the stupid DC Young Fly type. And I hate to use him, but I mean, he was just so comical when he first started. Like, he's gotten a little bit more commercial now. No shade to him, but I mean, everybody got to it at some point.
You gotta elevate sometime.
He was just raw and just doing crazy stuff back in the day. But a lot of people like to see entertaining, stupid stuff like that. Or like cats, and how people be watching dogs.
Cats rule the internet.
Yes, they do.
Cats rule the internet.
I hate cats. I'm not watching this stupid squirrel running around this cat. So yeah, that informing, like something that has to do with, like, we can have dual citizenship in, like, African countries. Now I saw something like that the other day. So a lot of celebrities going to get dual citizenship in African countries. Inform or educate, like when people are sharing, like, these are the top trending real audio sounds, or they'll say, like, want to know why your content's failing, and then they'll be sitting at their computer doing something, and there be all these things popping up on the screen.
Yeah, the whole little...
Yeah. Well, I don't think people do the pointing thing no more, thank God, because I even got tired of doing that. I'm like, I'm not doing this. But I never really did a lot of the educating type content, but I do notice that my educating content does kind of good, because people be wanting to know, like, how you do this, how you edit, the way you edit, and all that. So yeah.
Well, give them a little bit. So how do you do all your own editing, or do you have any kind of help? So you just a solo team with you?
I'm a Gemini, so I got a couple people in me, and all 3 of us make sure everything's done. Okay, makeup, hair, styling, videography, editing, photographer, all of it. Okay, the PA on the side, outside of the
you gotta wear them hats to get it done, though.
Yeah, so it's me. It's all me. People always be like, I know you be out here on these trips with these dudes. Like, yeah, I might have a dude with me, but 9 times out of 10, he ain't finna be helping me with no content, for sure. He probably somewhere on the beach or on the other side of the camera asleep. But people always want, that's a myth. Like, I do not have this random dude with me on all my trips. Like, actually, I've been getting more into solo stuff, and I've been really connecting with my mother more. So a lot of times I have my mom with me on trips now. But again, none of these people are helping me most of the time. Like, most of the time it's me. So yeah, I have to do everything. I did start to get a team of, like, okay, if I need a wig or if my hair, or if I connected with a girl that wants to, collab with makeup, or of course a lot of times I get free clothes. So those kind of things make it easier. But if it ain't available, I gotta make it run, and I do it myself. So yeah.
What you prefer to edit on?
I like CapCut.
CapCut is blowing up like crazy.
Yeah, I've used CapCut for a while though, before it actually blew up too.
Word. Yeah. I just kind of got hip to it. I've heard about it, but it was just because I come from a background of doing like videography and stuff. I was always on the desktop doing it with either
like Final Cut Pro. Yeah.
So I started. It was actually in college. I won't forget. I had dropped out at one point when I was still on campus because I was still able to work because I was cool with the manager. But at the school, they had this whole computer lab called the Mac Lab. Man, I walked in there one day and seen all those Mac computers, and I just sat down, and they had like preloaded content on it, and they had Final Cut, so I was just in there, clicking around, and I learned it. But ever since then, that's all I had used. But now I prefer Premiere Pro to do all my stuff on there. But
I like CapCut. I stopped doing stuff on my phone. Number one, I start noticing. See, my hands start creaking. I start noticing my hand dexterity and stuff because when I go back to working, like for work, I was like, ooh, I gotta get off this. So I just got an Apple Pencil, and I had got like an iPad for like a holiday or something, and somebody got me, and I start doing all my CapCut stuff on my iPad now. So I'm left-handed, so I can get away from using everything on my right hand, and I can start actually using my left writing hand. We don't write a lot no more. So my left hand be on reserve for nothing half the time. And I'm like, no, you need to get to work. Because this hair, I feel like I'm like, yo, I had to go to like physical therapy for that.
Word.
And people don't talk about that kind of stuff in the content world. Yes, my hand is, that's why I creak when I just did.
You get this thing. I was asking somebody who does massages here. I was asking her the other day, like, do y'all just do hand massages?
Yes.
It'll get cramped up. But she said, what is it?
Sitting there all that time.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, those are the things people don't talk about, like, on the other end of it. So, yeah.
Back problems, neck problems.
Yeah, that's why I just told y'all I'm not finna be sitting back in this chair now. I'm using my ballet lessons to sit up right, because that right there is not gonna work for me.
I struggle with it a lot, man, sitting down, especially when you, like you say, doing all your, because that's how I started out, just a one-man band. Luckily, I got people now to help me out.
That's what I say. You got even, like, not to share behind the scenes with Set the Record Straight, but you got a team over here,
I had to. It was just like,
I'm like, I gotta tell Vaughn about this. Y'all got
being
going
productive,
on
man, because think about it, having to, because I used to do it all by myself, cut the camera on, set up the mics, edit it, record it, but it was just, my brain just be so full of that, it just don't leave me space to be creative, to bring in more business to the book. So I just had to sit down and like, hey, man, get folks I'm close with.
I'm stingy. I don't be wanting to pay all these extra people. I ain't gonna even hold you.
But you gotta find folks who work with you. Like they work with me.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's a purse there. That's
they gotta believe in the vision. You can find them. I'm telling you.
All that outside, that's some plane tickets. I be having.
Well, okay, so you traveling, so that's different.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh. Because I actually know a guy who was one of my photographers, Drone Jones Media, and he was like, let me know when you go on your next trip. I'm like, thinking back in my head, but I do want to take him, like, dog, I might have to pay for your plane ticket. I might have to think about that, because...
But think about it. One time, it could be worth it. That one trip that you do.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Chris is definitely, like, chef's kiss, like, but I'm just like... But I also told him, too, like, we have to, like, plan it out where we can shoot at different spots in a country or somewhere where we can actually maybe go to different countries and, like, do it all in, like, 4 days or something. But, yeah.
So you pretty much want a team if you can have one? Like, you will have one?
No, because, like, I feel like gets people too big for their britches. Like, I don't know. I just like it to be where it's still humbling. Like,
so you wouldn't want to just focus on just doing your content?
No, who am I? I'm not no celebrity. Like, no.
Well, you don't have to be a celebrity. It just I'm telling you, it makes stuff 10 times easier. Like,
I like the grind of it sometimes because I am so I do communications for my professional job. I'm a communication specialist. So for me, like I said, it's an art to me. It's my baby. So I know how I want the camera angles to go. Because if him over there, I would want to see every angle of the camera. Or the BTS, I would have it up. Like, I'd be liking to see all that and be in control of it. So, or like hair and makeup. Like, even when people doing my, I be like, what is that? Girl, you got these eyebrows looking like, like, girl, no, you know, or just anything on my hair, or just, I'd be liking to be in control. So it's hard.
It's hard for you to delegate. Is that what it is? I had to learn that too. But,
and it's creative for me. Like, literally, like, the editing piece, like, I love to go off on editing. People always comment, and that's I guess a brag. People always bragging about, letting me know, like, I love your editing. I love how you edit your content. So it's an art, like, because I am an artist. Like, I actually am I paint, but this has become a digital form of art for me. So I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about it, you know.
But you gonna get big one day, so how you gonna have the time to do all this?
I appreciate that. You know, I haven't had those conversations when they come, like, let me do the editing.
Yeah.
Do everything else, but let me do the editing.
It was so hard for me,
because I know what angles, I know the point of views, I know what I want it to look like.
You got an eye for it.
And I don't got time to tell nobody. I don't want, and then I'm very, very straightforward. I don't want to think nobody, I'm bossing them around.
That's a good quality, though.
Yeah, I'm like, I know exactly how I want this to go, and that's how I prefer to do it myself, because I don't want to be talking to nobody crazy, because my mom says it's your tone. I'd be like, I know, but when I say what I got to say, it's just like, that just need to happen. You know, like, I don't really got time to, like, and you doing this wrong. I'm like, okay, no.
You gotta get it right. But that's cool with content, right? So let's try to switch gears a little bit. I want to hop into
this little boy did that to me the other day. I'm like, oh, y'all still do that? That said.
Hey, he still got it in on that old school move. What was that called?
I don't even remember.
Somebody help.
I forgot. Y'all don't remember that little... I don't remember.
I can't remember. But nonetheless, though,
I don't know.
So the women's health advocate, right? Yes. So let's jump to that. Because I want to... Of course, I'm not a female, so I want you to be the voice.
That's very... Oh, that's not very obvious in today's times. I was about to say that's clearly, but no.
I get where you're coming from.
Not that clear now.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah. So let's talk about more of that, right? So what is your focus in that realm, and what is your purpose in there for what you're trying to do in your mission?
So I'll start with the mission. The mission is to make sure that if I can help it, another female has to go through what I've been through. And if I can say something to her or help her change the position that she's in currently, then I want to do that. If I could just say 2 words like, nah, you shouldn't do that, you might be time to go ahead and roll out that situation. Like anything that can help a woman not do, because I didn't have that. So that's the main mission of being what I didn't have for other women and young, either teens. I'll tell people like I don't have the touch for like babies. Like I mean, of course, like if I'm a mom, but like when it comes to like elementary and middle a little bit, but normally my soft spot where I love to like help and like work in the community is high school and college and of course like my age. But no, I don't have it for the babies yet. Like I gotta be able to talk like real raw about this kind of stuff. And people be like, I don't want you talking to my kids about that. But then you got to go ahead and they gonna have to wait a couple years. Yeah. Cause I need to be able to speak very rawly about this stuff because that's I feel like in our community sometimes it's like they hush, like, girl, don't talk like that. But your grandparents was together. It doesn't matter if they was looking crazy for them 30, 40, 50 years. Like, and mental health was like, non-existent. So, yeah, that's the mission. What was the second question? Sorry.
As far as like what you specifically focus on as far as in that realm?
Yeah. So, for me, my focus, number one, definitely, I'm applying for medical school to be OBGYN in the realm of African-American and Latina women's health. Speaking on domestic violence is something that I'm definitely an advocate for, as well as infertility and menopause, which are 2 things. We talk a lot more about infertility, but we don't talk about menopause when it comes to women. My dad even talks about it more than my mom does, but then she talks about hot flashes. But my dad, gave me a different aspect. Like, now your mom changed after she went through menopause. I'm like, I wonder if any other man like thinks about that when it comes to their wife about that. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about menopause as a community. Like, how does that? Or, it's just hush. Like, grandma just hot right now. Just open all the windows. But, they don't go past that. Yeah. They don't go past that. So, yeah, those are the main areas. Yeah.
So what made you want to focus on those? Were you dealing in any situations that in that nature as far as?
Absolutely. I got phases to my life. I'm in the 3rd phase right now. Now, I told somebody yesterday I was in the 4th phase. It be changing. But yeah, I definitely dealt with it. I dealt with it twice. I dealt with it in college. And I had 2 abusive relationships and 1 led into grad school. So yeah, that was the age range was from like, 19-ish to like 23. Yeah.
So how did you end up actually able to, I guess you say, survive that or get yourself out of that situation? Like, what steps did you take or what mindset did you have to activate as far as to say, okay, like whether this is enough is enough, let me just step away from this, or like did it last for a long period of time where you were still, because a lot of women, they may say in a domestic violence relationship, right, is people can always just say, well, why didn't you leave? But on the other flip side, it's
a cute question.
Yeah, you weren't there to experience this. You don't know what my mindset could have been. You don't know where I was mentally, spiritually, or emotionally at that time. So how was that for you transitioning out of that? And what could you say to help somebody who's maybe going through it to get them out of that situation?
Yeah, so first I'll say Domestic Violence Awareness Month is October. I know October is always known for breast cancer awareness. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness. So throw that out there for all y'all that's about to wear y'all pink all next month, okay? Y'all throw some purple up in that thing. So that's first, because I always try to speak on it for that. So I don't even know if this might come out in October, but I'm going to just say this is for October. So I always have a goal. Like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna speak. It's gonna be public speaking, because that's what I was doing, was hiding. So this is my therapy when I talk about it. And it's wild because my ex actually hit me up. He was in prison. I used to like hood dudes. Don't judge me, y'all. But my ex got out of prison. I don't even know if the man in prison. He called me from prison, y'all. So, and you know, he was just wondering why I sounded the way I sound, and I'm actually talking. I'm gonna go backwards. So this is current time. He talks to me and was like, "You sound so different," or you know, "You kind of quiet." I'm like, first of all, you're on a prison phone. We already know how that time's working.
Facts.
And then two, what do I have to say to you? You know, like, I don't know what to say, and I wasn't prepared for that. He caught me off guard. Most people don't catch me off guard. Homeboy snuck me that day because I was on the way to Pilates. I was just on my soft girl era Pilates at the daily Pilates.
Wrench into that.
You know, so I'm just like, wait, I wasn't. You try to prep. You like, I'm gonna say this when I finally talk to him. I'm gonna go. You know, it caught me off guard. Literally, just driving down the street and he called. I was just like, who is this? And you know, I always had to think about what would I say the next time. Not see to him, but say, because I knew I wouldn't want to, lay eyes on him. But in the conversation, I had nothing to say. I had no words. Like, I just, I hope you're good. Like, I really do. I hope you're good, because it's honestly a mental health thing in both people. But the one who's doing the aggressor has just as much broken mental health as the person who was allowing that abuse to happen to them. So, it's on both sides. So I really did mean that when I said that. Like, I don't mean no harm. I hope you don't have no harm. I'm so sorry you're in prison. And back in my head, I'm like, you deserve that prison sentence. I don't know what, I didn't even ask what he was in there for, but I know what you in there for, because I practice Buddhism and I'm real big on karma. And karma is gonna always find you. No matter if your mama can't find you and your girlfriend looking for you in the street, that thing ain't come home. Karma gonna find you.
Doing that bad to come back and get you for sure.
I was kind of like relieved that at least there was some just serve in that way. But to go backwards, I got out of it because I finally just couldn't go on anymore. It was affecting my bottom dollars, which was school at the time. I talk a lot of times in money. I be talking like I'm this big time drug dealer half the time. Back in my head, probably in like my other life, I probably was like a Consuela and like, in West Indies somewhere, pushing major weight, okay? I wake up with money on my mind all the time. But he was affecting my bottom dollar because, number one, I had jobs. Shout out to 255. That's where I got started when I was in school. I got 2 degrees out of 255 on Peter Street. I told everybody that. You can say a lot about 255 on Peter Street, but I got 2 degrees out of it. Shout out to Mario and the whole team. Anyways, he was affecting that. He would not let me go. He would kind of put a wedge in between me trying to go to work, as far as that. And it's a club job, little shorts, out with the bottles, that jealousy factor. And then with school, I was a full-time student at Spelman and in grad school. And it was just time after time where I would miss classes. I would almost have to bring his daughter to me to class. I mean, Spelman is very bougie. Sheesh. The bougiest of the bougie. Like, there ain't nobody going for all of that. Like, they're like, you get your stuff together. You messy. Like, your slip hanging. And I actually have had to tell teachers told me that. And then to the point where I couldn't hide it anymore, too. Like, I had black eyes and stuff where I had to put on like little fake glasses to cover it, or I had gotten pregnant and it's like you missing because you got to go get an abortion. Those are other topics that I'm very for too. So I don't try to hide away from words like those kind of words.
That's good. People need to hear it.
Because it's real life. And it happens a lot more to us as Black and Latino women than people want to talk about. And y'all have to deal with it too. It ain't like it's just on us, know? So sometimes y'all be hurt more than us. So I'm like, dang, I got to do this for me, sir. I'm so sorry about you. I got to do it for me. But so a lot of those factors, it was just, I was either going to be in jail, dead, or just in peculiar situations that, I was just like, my integrity was about to be, being compromised. So it just had gotten to that point. And I mean, unfortunately, you do have to sometimes let women just bump their head enough to be like, okay, I gotta leave. But when you're mentally broken I was at rock bottom. People say that, but I was just at my lowest. I wouldn't say rock bottom, but I was really low. It was like one of the lowest times of my life. And it was just like I just had enough that day. And it was just like one day, like, all right, this just really can't happen because now, like, folks at school, it's like, as long as I could hide it and cover it up,
you was cool.
I would deal with it. Yeah. I wasn't ever cool with it, but I could deal with it and I can manage it. But once it started to, like, show or I'm, like, sitting weird because I got all these, like, bruises on me or my eye all big and black and stuff, ain't that dark. Like, if I get one bruise on me from anything, it's showing. So it's like, it was starting to become very apparent. And so I was scared of that factor because then my parents would find out. Then I used to be ride or die. I can't ride or die no more. But I didn't want the cops involved. I didn't want to tell nobody. I didn't want to get him, into no type of situation. So that was how the second time happened. The first time it happened, dang, I can't hear I don't even know how it went. I think, I was in that dramatic phase. I feel like when we were like fresh out of high school, and then that's when reality TV was like super big.
Yeah, popping, yeah.
I felt like I was in a reality show every day, so I was a little bit more dramatic back then. I will say that was at my fault. So it was just like I wanted this whole scene, like throw your stuff outside. It was Valentine's. I had flowers, and I was throwing them in the hallway. Crazy dramatic scene. I don't want no smoke now. Like, sir, you could. I'll just be missing now in 2023. You'll be like, what happened to Celine? I'm so sorry.
Sir.
I don't want none of that type of smoke no more, girl. When I hear women doing these dramatic, elaborate, like, I'm done with you type. Silence is so cute to me. Like, ooh, it's gonna get you real cozy at night because you be up all night wondering why you don't hear from me no more.
That'll ruffle the man feeling so much when it's like get into your mind just thinking like, silent. What is she doing?
Go silent.
It's crazy.
Go silent and just be living your best, sexiest, healthiest life on Instagram on him, okay? That's what I say, okay, nowadays. But back then I wanted to make a big scene. So the first time was like a really big scene. And, these people just had me caught up for years and years and years. Yeah. So
what do you think, as far as for you though, for you to even, I guess, say that you can just to deal with it or to allow yourself to go through, was it coming from like some childhood trauma? Not saying I go too deep what may happen, but I think it was something like mental messed upness from childhood to adulthood that made you just say, this is something I'm willing to accept right now. Maybe I don't know or have that example of what this relationship should be. Like if a man does it, well, first of all, let me apologize on behalf of whether if he was, I don't know if he was black or not, but a man, period, for having to go through that, because no one must have to go through that, right? I'm not for that. I don't understand it. It's as if anybody have any disagreements, it's better you can just walk away. Like, you can't let somebody control emotions that much to where, but just from a man to a woman, like, bruh, it's a female. Some females, don't get me wrong, they can't handle the dude, but it's just like, come on,
I probably
dude.
Could too nowadays, but it just ain't worked.
Yeah, but so I apologize on their behalf for that. But so what do you think it was in your mind to just say, like, I'm just worth going through this for right now? Or was it just you were just really just caught off guard and thinking this is what love is or a relationship is? So what happened for you in that?
So I will say I had a great upbringing. Like, both my parents, they've been married for 35 years. Both my grandparents, on both sides, they had long-term marriages until both my grandmothers are deceased, until both my grandmothers passed away. So I had never saw broken family structures, or my dad put in my dad is very goofy with my mom. They fight back and forth, but never anything of any like malice or anything like that. So I won't say I saw it in my home, but Celine wanted to be in the streets, and I ran the streets a lot. And so and not in a sense where my parents was for it. They were not. I would sneak out or do little stupid stuff to be like, oh, I'm with my friend, but I really somewhere with some dude that's like highly, way older than me that I shouldn't have been. So I always talk about those kind of things too, because we really got to get a handle on self-esteem, self-discovery, and really embracing who we are as like younger women, like sexually wise. And so as the OBGYN, that's one of the things I really want to focus in on, is even taking a mirror and putting it down there for boys too. Like, what is this happening? What's going on? What does it look like? I want to be careful of myself, so ain't no 23-year-old man telling you about your body as a 16-year-old. It's something wrong. That's inappropriate. And so those are the type of situations that I was in, where I did get pregnant when I was in high school, and a lot of people didn't know that till later, and I started talking about it. And so I was almost a teenage mom in high school, and so that one entrance point it cracked the whole foundation for me, because that at that point I felt damaged or used, and I was, this was somebody, that was older. So, they had a lot of influence. Yeah. And so You know, I feel like that was the number one thing. Looking back now, I just turned 30. I don't even know how I'm 30, but
It's
looking
all
back
good.
at
Welcome
30,
to the club, man.
looking back at 30 now, I could say that at 15 years ago now, that's what happened. And getting pregnant in high school. And I didn't feel, you know, being that, like back then, like video vixens were a really big thing. So everybody like Latino girls, and that's the thing with this whole Erica Mena thing too right now, but we ain't getting into that. But but Erica Mena was a video vixen back then, so she played into it like everybody else. But it was like if you weren't Latina, or it wasn't these big old booty girls now like they got.
It was just a skin complexion.
Yeah, it was a
so
skin complexion thing,
Yep.
and I'm not the lightest, but I'm not the darkest either. So it was like if you didn't have the like half white or like real light like looking, I had like insecurities when it came to that. I had a big old forehead. People used to talk like about my forehead. I still got a big forehead, but. And that's just what it don't be. But little things like that really ate me up at that age because I didn't have that reinforcement. Your mom can tell you so many times you're cute, but when you go to school and dudes is joining you and talk about, oh, your butt teeth. You know, like that self-acceptance from your peers is real. Even today's time, like women want to go out right now, feel wanted by other men. So, you know, like it stems from there. And we don't have talked about healthy relationships with boys at that age. So then we don't talk about it. It's always don't be around him, can't be around these boys. But I know I want my daughter around boys in an appropriate setting so she knows how to interact when it comes time for dating. Because it's like they want to know why you 30 and don't have kids now. I'm like, I mean, for the past half my life, y'all been telling me to stay away from them.
Facts.
And it's like you can beat them, you're better than them. So it's like, what up? We finna match up now. We didn't arrive. And you know, it's a competition now. Instead of it being like a loving, let's love on our black men, it's more so like, I could do exactly what you could do, and you can't. But a lot of that comes up now because we've been raised up to be these strong black women. So that's all I was focused on, and not the healthy relationship. So my background was perfect though. Like, I mean, I won't say perfect, but I didn't have those problems. I had others.
One thing you said that I feel like, again, I'm not speaking for women, but when people say you can be a product of your environment, that plays a lot, right? Because even with me, I grew up with two parents in a household. They're married for a long time, but I was pretty much never in the house. So when I was outside chilling with the homies, it was just like
their influence was king over what your parents was instilling at you at home.
Because they can tell me whatever they want to, right?
Yeah.
But again, as well, growing up in a household to where we trying to hustle and make ends meet, it was more so of that structure than the love, the support, okay, you should do this or do that, and you feel this way, so why do you feel this way, or this and that, versus when I'm going outside. And because I had to grow up at a young age and help out, I was just so more attracted to a older man lifestyle. So it was just the people I hung with was my peers in school, their older brothers or their older cousins. Like, we would still hang, but I was accepted into those rooms to where now I'm looking up to, I'm 14, 15, 16, looking up to a 26-year-old, 27-year-old. So I'm saying, and then coming from on the east side in Decatur, like just in that mixture of stuff, it just played a big part into this is just what's going on. This is what we should be doing. This is what guys do. Or all it was, hey, bro, you know, shit, go smoke you some weed or something. Go try to run you a bag up. Find you a cute girl and smash and this and that one. You didn't get the other.
We were glorifying strippers that came from the east side. Like, oh my gosh, she was a stripper. Like, you know how much money she's making? Like, that was our focus. I mean, it probably still is now. I don't know, but that was our focus. It's still
out there, especially but kids. We can always say, well, I feel now. I kind of feel where our parents used to come from as far as like how he was living, but now it feels kind of old to say that. But it's just the generation coming up now. Just like we were saying before, the examples that they have is just so minimal to where we got to try extra hard to save them from being a product of their environment, because outside of that, well, not even inside of the house, because of technology on their phone, they're exposed 10 times more than what we were. Like, we seen we were either having to hide to do it or go outside and get it, but now they're just in the house and just invading these cell phones and tablets.
But I don't know how old you are, but I mean, like,
31, about to hit 32 next week.
So we're the same age. I feel like we did have it in the house. Like, my friend that's a little older, she was talking about how, like, they didn't have iPhones and stuff, but iPhone was out when I was in high school.
See, what I didn't have, we couldn't afford no damn iPhone.
But I'm just saying, people still had access, you know, and then like BET Uncut with, I don't know if we had access to inappropriateness I think that it just wasn't as tolerated and as free as far as that media is concerned.
Good point there.
But I
Good
think
point
we
there.
still had access because we had all this. We had everything. I mean, we even had LimeWire. I don't even know if they can pirate music like that back like they used to.
I used to love LimeWire.
But that was like fraudulent, like obtaining, these people's songs and stuff.
That's how I made money off of LimeWire. Yeah,
like
downloading mixtapes and burning them mixtapes.
Kids clubs with these burnt CDs, like fraudulent.
So it was access. You right. It was access. It's just. I just feel it's just so.
It is different though.
Yeah,
I agree. It is different
nowadays.
People can literally go to the MTV Awards, crawl around on the ground, and be like, "Yes, girl, you're being you. You're just so genuine, and it's for you." And I'm like, "Cool, let her be her." But she a grown woman with kids, so if that's what she want to do, that's her business. But like when they focusing on that versus other stuff, that is like pretty. I mean, because it's a white woman that she was. Sukihana was right. It is white women that have gone to the Autumn Award shows and done crazy stuff too. But it coming from that's what we are focused on a lot more now. It kind of looks even 10 times worse, but it has, to me, it's always been there.
Yes, but let me ask you this. This may be not jump left right. So how do you feel about? Because I love to have a woman on here to answer this. So when it comes to when females say, but when I'm naked or the more I'm showing, right, that equates to me showing empowerment from my body, or is this, that's me saying I'm liberating myself because I can do this. Like, do you feel like that is true, or you can really liberate yourself without going to that extent, or is it just an excuse to follow the crowd?
Yo, wait. Cause like somebody might eat me up for it, but I have to always speak and stand on what I said. I said what I said, and I'm that's gonna be
you
that.
Standing on business.
I think it's BS. I think women are BS when they say that. You is BSing. Like, you just, like, a lot of women sometimes do, like, every woman say, like, we have our whole phase. Like, some women just want to be a house sometimes, or they just want to be loose. Like, that's okay. Like, don't bring that to women's empowerment. Yeah. Like, you have to break down the word. Like, and then if somebody asks you that, okay, how? But I love when people ask, okay, so how is it empowering you?
That's what I want to know. Oh, shit.
People say it is, but how?
Yep.
You can't tell me how. Or it might be very minimal of how this feels and how does this make you feel empowered? Or when I go to the gym and I got on this tight little outfit, and I don't like to show them I got bigger thighs, but if I go in the gym and I'm really looking good and I know that I'm healthy from the inside out, is that more empowering? Yes, I got on skin tight clothes, you can see my body and all that, but I'm not quote unquote naked, but you feel empowered because I'm feeling like I'm gonna see the best version of myself because I know I'm at optimal health, or it just makes me feel strong. When I know that, like you wanna feel good about yourself and look good.
Facts.
That has nothing to do with going out like with see-through clothes on. When I see that kind of stuff, like I don't know how, ma'am, that the pasties or just nothing underneath, and it's like the stripper kind of wear is like popular now. I don't know how that's empowering. I feel like the only reason it can be empowering is because you're gonna get attention that you may not have got without it. But to me, like all attention is not empowering. So I think it's BS when people say that. I think it's certain women do not want to be told what to wear by men. And I think that's all it is. Like, I want to be able to wear whatever I want to wear without you telling me I can't do it. That's all it is. It's just, to me, it's more so of wanting to not have a man tell you what to do and have control over your free will. And I don't believe in having free will, control over anybody's free will. But I think that's more so what it is. Like,
but even from a male's perspective, right? So good, from on this side, right? Like men, right? We're visual creatures. We love what we see and we love that chase, right? So it's all cool and dandy if you want to come out half naked and this and that, right? Do you? Nobody want to tell you what to do, but you just can't combat that when you see a guy that just wanting to hit. We're visual.
But some women are okay with that.
I mean, they are, but this is for the ones who want to say it's empowering, but I hate when a man try to hit on me because I'm dressing this way and this and that.
Those are irrational thinking people.
Once you show us that, it's like our mindset, because of that visual aspect, clicks to, okay, if she's already showing me this or showing the world this, she's halfway saying, shit, I'm down. I'm showing you this, so shit.
And half the time they do be down.
Well, you give them all the reason to be doing it for sure.
I mean, Like, I just be like, call a thing a thing. If you want to have sex with whoever every time of the day, just do that. But do not put it on the backs of women's empowerment or I want to do what I want to do, or nobody, I should be able to wear what I want to wear and nobody say anything. That is irrational. That is irrational thinking to really think that somebody like a dude, especially black dudes, especially in Atlanta, are really going to abide by your rules.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real about it. Like, if you want to be naked, walk around your own house naked and have nobody talk about you. But if you doing that in the street, and when I'm saying naked, I'm talking about because people probably see me out all the time, but I don't have no problem like wearing certain stuff or tight dresses and stuff. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like where it's like blatant, like folks be wearing like see-through clothes now, or those little the lace thing that have the these things all over it, and it be like see-through. Because I do pole dancing, so I'm familiar with all of these outfits outside of the realm of the strip club. I know what they all look like. They all on Shein for $3.99. So it's really like crazy how people be wearing that stuff out. Like, yo, you wearing this in the club? Number one, I cannot sit my butt down nowhere with that type of thin material or just whole areola just uncovered.
It's like you can tease, like it's cool to show your cleavage and give a little but when you just give it all, it's
I like to keep it sexy but still classy and still like respectable.
Facts.
But you're irrational if you're gonna come out and really think nobody. And in the back of their head, because I am a woman, you know for a fact what you doing.
Thank you.
But it's cute.
Knowing, bro. It's
so cute though. Like, I love it. It sounds good. It really does sound good, and that's okay. Like,
I prefer that for a female to be like.
But a lot of females is not finna
doing.
kick it like I kick it. Like I really do. Just don't. It just is what it is.
You just can't mask it and act
we
like
just
it
want to
is
be real
something
free.
else.
Like we want to be able to have the same level of sex that y'all have. We want to be able to move and juggle the same amount of women that y'all and have nobody say or judge us differently the
Like
same way. That's really
like
what it is at the core. Like we want to be able to move in a promiscuous sexual manner or proudness. I won't say promiscuous, but that sexual proudness that you all have as men. Honestly, I think women want that same without the judgment involved. And if that was the same, I think that a lot of that kind of conversation about, it's just women probably want to feel how to feel. Like, I think they just want to be just like, y'all can go out and have this and then, but when we do, we call hoes. Like, they just want to do it and feel.
Yeah.
I mean, men, I be telling men the hoes too, but they okay with that term.
That's how society.
You gotta be okay with being a hoe. Be okay. Live in your wholeness. It's okay because people have whole phases. I haven't had my whole phase yet. They say like older women have, so maybe I have a whole phase in my 40s.
I heard you said it was just only in the younger age. That's my first time.
I hear some older women that be getting down.
You think it's necessary?
I don't know.
Or do you think it can really be done?
I do not think that's necessary.
Okay, because a lot of women would say, you gotta go ahead and get it out. You gotta have that phase.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it out. It has to be upon me. I cannot just go after it. So if it don't reach me, I'm not gonna be seeking out the whole phase in my 40s. Okay, like it don't work like that. Over here, it don't. If it don't reach me, then that's just something that's a bucket list item I don't have on my list.
Yeah, that's a fact. But it's cool to see you. At least you transparent about this, because a lot of women, they say they'll just mask it with, I don't want to be honest because the looks and the judgment, this and that. But I guarantee men
I
prefer.
Tell them what we do not. We want y'all to tell us what to do. That's something I think women do not like.
So women don't want a man who's a leader.
Is that leadership?
No, not that part. I'm switching gears. Not the whole telling somebody what to wear. That's controlling.
Yeah,
that's like. Well, of course, women have their standards and the man have their standards. But on a leadership tip, they can kind of butt heads, because if you don't want that, I guarantee he probably not gonna be susceptible to him telling you to do anything else down the line.
Yeah, but I think when men say men like to lead, like y'all like to lead on, I won't say y'all, I'll say some men like to lead on things that are very minuscule. Like, if you are not leading me to financial freedom, or, okay, that Barbie movie where you putting on all these little outfits, doing all this for this Barbie movie, you need to be go getting you some Mattel stock. If that ain't coming out your mouth as a true leader,
that's a fact.
Then I'm going to need you to pipe down with the leadership, because your leadership qualities are not going to lead us to glory, okay?
Facts.
So your leadership is like project manager or something. it ain't true leadership quality. Okay, people think I teeter in two worlds. So I am in a professional world, and we gonna talk about true leadership.
It gotta come with growth and development for sure.
People kill me, or men would be like, you gotta have men like to lead. Like that's cool.
Yeah, but it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, then
right way
especially
and
if you
right
have
things
kids
to
and
lead.
stuff, like talking to someone like they're your child is not true leadership. You know, I hear a lot of that. Daddies become daddies in every sense. Even my dad do it. My dad see kids out and tell them what, I be like, that's not your child. And then I have dudes that have kids and I'm like, I'm not your child. So, you know, but that come that manliness, it does come in y'all. But, you know, that is cute when y'all say it too. You know, I gotta be able to lead. I gotta be able to lead too.
But a man does. That's just in our nature. But you gotta do it the right way, like you're saying. Just as far as financially, mentally, spiritually, it's the right way to do it.
Respectfully, I had to tell, if I'm with you, it's in my nature to lead as well, sir. So we have to both tamp that down in order to have a leadership position. Because, you know, it's like co-executives and So I'm with the co. I always like to put co this, co that in front of it because it really does take true partnership. And that goes back to the healthy relationships. A lot of us do not have healthy relationships at younger ages with the opposite sex. So then we find ourselves like it's the power struggle. And I can't have no man leading me. I can't. We can lead together. Because you're not going to be right at everything just because you have an X and Y chromosome.
Yeah, women still have a voice, though, for sure. So you
like
can't
I have 2
X
chromosomes for a reason. No, I'm a science man. I'm a bio pre-med major, so I'm a little nerdy.
I better get healed.
Yeah. that doesn't extenuously, like, that Y chromosome does not have to do with leadership. I promise you. It more so has to do with other, those other, masculine qualities that you are. But we both have estrogen and testosterone in us.
Facts.
So...
I'm not only have good combos, you get educated up on here too, man.
I'm on my sofa.
It's all good. So, but I done kind of really drifted off. But just real quick before we switch topics again. So when it comes to those like domestic violent relationships, right, and just those kind of situations, what would you tell a young female today as far as either how to firstly avoid it, or if they are in one, how to exit it sooner than later? So what are some steps they can do, or how they can reach out to this and that? So how would you guide them on that?
So I'm not going to give y'all any domestic violence hotline numbers and stuff like that. I think those are ineffective old ways to really talk about this situation. Yes, those numbers are available, but let's be real. You finna call that number? No. So I always throw that out to say that I think that a lot of people just say, just leave, or that's cute. That sound good. Just like everything else I just said sound good. But is that really going to happen? Like, you really have to make a true decision in your mind. What's in your best interest? And if you're able to leave. Some women really can't leave because we let y'all lead so much. Y'all and then had us incapable. We can't even leave. Like, we don't even have anything of our own that we can. So you have to get on your feet. First, when he give you $50 to pay this bill, you take $25, put it to the side. And y'all just be behind on a couple things, but you about to bounce. But you got you a little cushion. Yeah. So you'll be okay when you leave. But he gonna be like, damn, we behind on the Georgia Power bill. Yes, you are, sir.
Because I'm ahead of getting up out of here.
But I gotta go. I left you a cute little remaining balance. So no, and all jokes aside, but yeah, you really have to set yourself up to, in the back of your head, kind of set yourself up like that, because I know that some women can't not leave because of kids or financially. But I always say the thing, you stay for your kids and you told them, and they're going to look at you crazy when you say that. Growing up, they're going to be growing and be like, I stayed because of y'all, you know? They're going to be like, why you do that? Because they didn't help me. And no way to see y'all, fighting, and I hear that a lot of times from people like, I got to stay because of the kids. You don't got to stay because of the kids, because your kids are definitely not the ones that they're going to be looking at you like, that wasn't smart, man. Like, so I definitely say you got to think of it from self, and, you're definitely going to be better out of it with your kids, and not just in it just to have a fixture of a man in that role. But when it comes to finances, you do have to get your finances a little bit together before you can leave something, if you're intertwined like that, where you have been rendered like unable to care for yourself, and I hear that a lot too. Thankfully for me, again, I was a drug dealer in a previous life, I think. And I always got money at the forefront. So unfortunately, but fortunately, I was the one helping dudes out instead of them helping me out. And that ain't nothing to be proud of, but it is what it is. And I was the one with the upper hand when it came to education and money. So I never had those situations. I was just like, okay, you got to go. And I never just wanted that detachment, because I felt like that's all I was worth, until I started to just say, okay, well, I'm not worth nothing now, so it don't matter. So I had to be just brought down to ground level. But I would say the number one thing is I definitely went to go see a therapist. Like, I started into therapy. And from there, I almost got kicked out of my graduate program when I was in grad school.
Because of going through therapy?
No, they made me go to therapy.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I said, either like lay down or get down type situation. You're going to have to make a decision. And they told me a story, like my family's from Detroit. So they told me this BMF story that I had heard all my life. And the girl, she played around so much with her, livelihood that I think one day these guys came in and like murdered her pretty much. And it was in relationship with this guy. And I had some of those situations where guys would come up to my job and stuff impressed about my dude. And it was those kind of things. Like, so it's going to take a bubble up effect for you to really feel like, okay, I really got to do something. And nobody is going to be able to tell you that time but yourself. You can hear it. But if you like real, like just deep in it with this person, there's nothing, unfortunately, that somebody is going to be able to say to you unless it's like live or die, like type. Like it has to get to that point for some people. Now, other people, I would suggest going to therapy because you really have to get your self-esteem and your self-worth back and discover yourself and know that this is a separate entity. Like you come to the table, everything there, the entree, men are the dessert. And I had to I don't believe that concept anymore because men are needed. But to get over that hump, you got to know like you complete without this person. Yes. Like this person is an addition, they're an add-on. You're not going to not be complete without them, So those kind of concepts that I had to talk about in therapy. I went to therapy twice, and I even went after I in high school when I was a teen, when I had got pregnant. So those times talking to a therapist really helped me. And then just looking at it, like I was like living in a great spot in my life, and that person wasn't. So I had to start looking from the outside in instead of so much in the day-to-day with it, because it was real rough. But those are the main things I would definitely say is when people give information or like, here's some resources, like nobody is even looking at that. Even when girls be like, here's how to put your tampon in, please read this. Like nobody is reading this stuff. And like, I guess it's the younger generation that's coming into public health jobs to understand of how do we effectively talk to, as healthcare professionals in public health, how do we get the messages across? Because I work in the government. How do we get that across from a government level so everybody will get a vaccination or everybody will be, when the next pandemics happen, how are they, as a community, how are we going to deal with that? Or micro level as a physician, when you see a young girl come in pregnant, how do you deal with that too? Because telling her to talk to these people on the phone, that is not doing nothing for her day to day. Like, so yeah, those are the main things I would say. But I will say, definitely talk to someone and let someone know. That was one thing I didn't do. So definitely you're not alone, but tell someone. Yeah. Just tell one person. And if it's somebody that is going to tell, then you might not want to tell them because you might not want to get the police involved. But at least talk to someone, tell someone. You don't want to go through something like that without anybody but that guy knowing. That's very dangerous.
Facts. That's crazy. One thing you just said that probably, like you say, would help. When you say as far as people communicating, I had a guest on a few weeks ago, and she was saying, because she does mental health therapy she does it for kids right now, but of course she still has that knowledge, but just the communication and language that we use for certain situations, that definitely could play a big part as far as freeing somebody from stuff like that. So, but I just love to see you a gangster, dog. He's your past life, Celine Alexandria. You got that hustling, you got that drive. So it's just beautiful to see that you survived situations like that, and you're still here today to talk about it and try to help educate and try to help heal people who are on those same paths. And a lot of people, they may have dealt with it, but once they're done with it, that's it. Like at least you coming back for yours. Like, hey,
I have to.
I've been through it. Hey, I'm an open book, so help them out. So keep for sure doing that to get it done. Man.
I will.
You got to.
I will. Yeah, I have to. I feel like that's my duty, and I would be remiss because I knew that that's what I needed in that time period, and I ain't have it. I didn't have nobody to turn to, and I just hid it for years and years, and it was hard. I would cry when I first talked about it. The first time I got put in a magazine for it, I was like, I can't believe I wrote this in here. Like, all the people be like, you don't give your story away for free. Make sure they paying you for this. It's like,
you know what I mean? Lives.
I am not no celebrity. Like, I need to tell the story because the story need to be told, not for the fact that I need to gain monetary, compensation for it. Now, is that something in the future? Yes, I would love to make. Love to make money off of the back of my exes doing crazy, putting me in precarious situations. But I say, like, you got to own your story and, you know, really be able to tell it well, and definitely to be the one that like writes it for yourself instead of somebody else. Because I know they probably have their versions of the story too, but that's why I always tell my, you know, dealings in it, and not so much just, you know, it was all on them. Like I had my fallings and my, you know, my...
You being accountable, that's
like I definitely am accountable for a lot of it. I was enabling these people to do a lot of this stuff. So
facts. Your testimony is gonna save so many people. So imagine if you did try to withhold that because you ain't getting paid. Some little girl could be dead right now because she didn't come across Celine's story in this book. But again, I applaud you for that. Give you some flowers for that because you're doing big things. But before we get up out of here, right?
So because it's hot up in here. Y'all got it hot and toasty. I ain't going through menopause, but whew.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So if you could, right? If you could go back in time and tell young Celine one thing or ample amount of things, what would you tell her right now?
I'll just say be patient and wait on it. Like, it's already written. Yeah, that's the main thing. Because I think so much, half the time I'm trying to write the story as I'm living it. And I'm always nervous about like, well, if I don't have this set for the future, what's going to happen? What my life going to be? Like, I'm always one of them people that's planning for my future life. Like, right now, like I have planners, I have schedules, I have all this stuff. And you probably thinking in your head, how you have a schedule and you showed up late today? But anyways, I really do. I really do. I really hold a schedule and I'm planning for the future now. And I would kind of settle myself back from that. And I would have so much anxiety. Like, how am I going to ever afford an apartment? How am I ever going to graduate from Spelman? How am I ever become a doctor? Or nobody's ever going to want to hear me. Or I'm never going to be wanted by like real like good men or like good guys or guys with money. I never thought I could ever find a guy with money. You know, I always thought I was going to deal with like hood dudes that was like broke. And, you know, like I had these like bad perceptions of my life before it was even written. And it's written, you know. I might be with bottle shot college right now. I ain't letting none of y'all know. But, you know, like definitely done leveled up in so many different ways. Like I never thought like I would have my own car and, you know, just so many things. Like in my teens and 20s, I'm like, dang, you right at 30, you got all this stuff. And in my head now, sitting at 30, like, you is a big kid, girl. You ain't got nothing planned out. So you gonna be 40, feeling like a kid still because you don't got nothing planned out.
Keep that youthfulness, man.
So you know, it's like I still am playing with myself like that in my own face, but I would say to not even playing myself as my face, like be confident as you can be and really to speak to people. Like I would be so afraid to like, you could tell me now, I was 50 Cent hard back in the day. Teflon Don, like I didn't softened up. These edges have rounded out, and I definitely have spread some too in the hips. But I have rounded out femininity wise. Like I was like, I hardened it. All three of y'all end up in here when back like when I was like 16.
I can say from middle school. I remember that in your middle school. I promise you I do.
Like I was like so different now. So when people see me and they like to tell the like a guy that I am currently dating that or like other guys like, yo, this one right here, like you got a different version of Celine. Like this is not the same gold teeth Baps like growth, version. Like and I'd be like, you can like let that rest. And I'd be embarrassed to really like people be like, you used to wear your hair like what? Or you have rings on. Today I do got rings on a couple fingers. But I used to have rings on every fingers and I was just so hard because I had been broken so many times that I had to make sure people knew. And you know, like it's unnecessary. Like what's understood don't never need to be said. And so that's why I was gonna say I don't argue with men or any of that kind of stuff anymore. So I would say a lot of that I would just, man, you can chill. You really don't have to show people how hard you was in your previous life. Like you ain't gotta show people that. So yeah, that would be the main thing. And it's okay to be womanly. Like I was scared to be a real girl or a woman because I didn't want nobody to tell you that for the weakness. And I felt that was weak. So I would hang with the boys. I would do the same things the dudes would do because I need to make sure like I ain't never, because I'm an only child. So it's like me and
try
me.
Yeah, because I'm female. I feel that.
Yeah, now it's like you can breathe. You could be feminine. But and no dude has tried me in this version of me now. I mean, they used to try me more back then as the tomboy that they do now. And I'd be like, yeah, I didn't soften up and I don't even get tried no more, but I have a different energy. It's about your energy and your true character.
And you attracted what you putting out. Yeah, for sure. That's
what I would tell her. Just chill out.
All right, young Celine, chill out, man. That's beautiful though. So we got any announcements you want to give out? What's coming up for you? Any events you got? Anything like that coming up? And
I got got one more trip in me. I'm going to Tanzania at the end of November. So that'd be my last trip for this year. And I can't wait. Like, I cannot wait to share everything content-wise.
You can prepare for that one, huh?
Yes, I can't wait. Outfit's going to be outfitting, bodying going to be bodying. Like, I cannot wait. Like, content's going to be on 1,000. I have a drone now. I have an active camera. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to run it up. I'm going to run it up. We're going to do a lot. So yeah, that. What else something wise? I don't know about the podcast right now. I know that Vine has Big Sexy on set the record straight, but I am still a co-host as far as I know. Let me know if it's something else different, Vine. I can definitely let me know. But so yeah, sometimes I still go on set the record straight with Vine Ray. And KB and Big Sexy. But honestly, I'm actually about to start studying for medical school again. So I'm going to be going a little bit underground a little bit as far as content goes. I have a lot of content saved up and backed up, but I really got to go back into my like professional bag and get some stuff done. So those are the main things. Hopefully I can do some stuff for Domestic Violence Awareness Month and definitely do more. Glad this podcast is coming out during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So October is that month to, get aware and do something. Excuse me. But other than that, I don't have any like super big announcements. I think a lot has happened this year so far. Like, and people even still seeing me put a ring on it on. So I'm like, somebody said something about that on Friday. I'm like, I forgot I did that this year. So that's a lot that I gotta archive and go back and be like, dang, I'm tired. So yeah, no other announcements, but it's a lot more to come, and the brands are getting bigger, and the collaborations are, everything's right where it needs to be. So
I want to ask you that real quick. What was your most favorite brand collab with to date?
Favorite?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
So you got a list to go through.
I don't have. I say the favorite. I say just a category of the favorite ones are the ones that I really truly resonate with the brand, and I get to know the brand owners. When I'm working with smaller brands, I truly get to know the brand, and to see that like WellCap, she went to Spelman, and I didn't even know that when I started to work with her, and I was just a giveaway. I want a giveaway and for content creators, and from that she loved the content I did in her wigs, and then from there we just grew this working relationship that we have now. But I didn't know she went to Spelman and all these other things when I started working with her. And she was in New York Fashion Week. She was on 2 billboards. She was on the Think Tank. Another brand was a brand, Wise, where I was able to go to his Think Tank and see him pitch for more money for his brands, with like a couple of million. So it's the brands that I don't have a particular one because that would be unfair to But
sorry, y'all. Try to pull one out.
I don't have, but I honestly don't. I definitely appreciate the ones where I can actually impact them. Like when the owner Maya from Aesthetic Collection was like, this really made my day. So the brands that I really get to impact on a bigger level, and I get to see them because that's something I do in my side time is creative services for smaller brands, especially nonprofits. So when I'm able to impact like that and actually help the owner to like really bring their voice across or like branding message and tell a story about the brand that they're trying to really get out to the masses and see of course financial gain from too, but because capitalism is crazy in America.
That's what it's built off of.
Yeah, so I'm that's a part that's gonna come, unfortunately, but I like to tell the story. Some of the bigger brands that I've worked with, they tamper your creativity because they have so many stipulations. So the bigger brands, I love to work with them because of course they're the ones that pay for the plane tickets and the bags and all this extra stuff that I get to everybody see me with. But I definitely like small brands. Big brands, I definitely am looking to work with bigger brands, but when you have higher value for impact, that's what really gets me up, I want to do another one.
Yeah. I feel you. Put that battery in the back. That's good though. Yeah. But again, like I said earlier, I know you're gonna do great things.
Thanks.
And you're very blessed to grow through what you went through, right? So, but let everybody know
like what you've been through.
You damn right, man. So tell everybody where they can follow you at. Find you on social media across the board so they can get in contact with you.
Anywhere, Celine Alexandria. No, I'm not Celine like the bag. Oops, sorry, y'all. Sorry. But Celine, Celene. And so Celine Alexandria everywhere. It's the same. I keep it real cute because that's brand repetition. Like, I don't be trying to change it up. Yeah, the only person I didn't see do that is like the real Cal sister. Like, who is Cal? And then everybody like, oh, you know what? Other than that, I tell people, keep it real, like,
clean
to the
and concise,
point. Yeah.
Yeah, the brand specialists up in here for real, man.
Look, it's a learning thing. I'm learning as I go. Sure. Yeah.
Cool,
but thank you so much for having me.
Nah, for sure. It was a pleasure having you on. Had a great conversation, man.
Likewise.
But again, if y'all have been watching today, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is the Inherited Podcast. I am Sir Gates. You can follow me on social media at Sir Gates BC across the board. Make sure you follow the podcast at Inherited Podcast. That is NHERITD Podcast. Another good dope conversation with another dope guest. Make sure y'all tune in next time. And we out.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nilla, for a good convo.
Thank you.
Now.